Hello BookTube, it's Ben here from the History Fella channel again. Today I've got a book haul coming up. I've had a number of books from Pen and Sword Books mainly, and a couple of others. I apologise, I haven't had any videos put up for the past probably nearly a week, but I haven't really been feeling that well this week. Kind of a bit run down or a bit grotty and a bit but anyway, I'm starting to feel a bit better now anyway. It's always tricky at this time we haven't just had a COVID pandemic. It's you have to decide whether you're feeling ill because of you might have caught COVID, or whether it's just a bug, or whether you're just feeling under the weather. But anyway, I've had my 2 jabs now, so chances of it being COVID should be far reduced. Anyway, let's get on. I've had a book haul, as I said. I've got about 8, maybe 9 books that have turned up. So the first one is Victoria Crosses on the Western Front. The Battles of the Scarpe and Drecourt Queant line. I know it's French, I've probably unfortunately butchered that, but I apologise for that. From the 26th of August to the 2nd of September 1918, and that's written by Paul Oldfield, and it's published by Pen and Sword Books. Now, and the good thing, I've had a couple of these copies in the past, and to be honest, they are magnificent books, because in order to get into the book and to have earned your Victoria Cross, you have to have achieved some pretty amazing feats of bravery, and just being one of the best, because the stories in these are just absolutely amazing. Some of the things soldiers achieve and accomplish is just staggering and mind-blowing, really. But anyway, that's Victoria Crosses on the Western Front, written by Paul Oldfield and published by Pen and Sword Books. That's the first one. Right. Got some cash hidden under there. This book is Walt Disney, and it's The Early Life of Walt Disney, written by Andrew Stanley Kist, and that's published by White Owl Books, and really it's a look at the early life of Walt Disney and all that he managed to achieve. So that should be quite interesting, that one. Probably not so much about Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, sort of. Probably about him growing up. On the back it says, the early life of Walt Disney tells the story of the famous artist and entertainer in a fresh way, placing him in the cultural narrative of the 20th century in America and the world. And actually at the back it's got a picture of I might have been the house he grew up in. So that's the early life of Walt Disney. And the third one, we've got The Air Battle for Moscow, 1941 to 42, and that's written by, wait for it, it's a Russian name, Dmitry Degtev, or Dmitry Zubov, and that's published by Airvold Books, and obviously looks at the air battle over Moscow in 41 to 42. There isn't any blurb on the back. On the inside cover you've got Operation Typhoon and the battle for Moscow began in October 41. According to Hitler's plan, it was to be the last offensive, after which nothing could stop Germany from conquering Britain and the rest of Europe. But first he had to overcome the Soviets, and especially their air force. So that sounds good. Next I've got a paperback, which is a bit unusual really, because I don't often get sent many paperbacks. But this one is called Scramble. Wing Commander JRD Bob Brabham, or Bramham, DSO-DFC AFC CD, the memoir of Britain's most decorated fighter pilot. And that's written let me just check. It's got a load of information in the front out. I can only think it was written by Wing Commander Bob Brabham himself. And I'll find out for definite for you. And on the back it says the incredible autobiography of JRD Brabham, Britain's most decorated fighter pilot and one of the most successful of the Second World War. Brabham joined the RAF in 1938 at the age of 18. He was posted to number 29 Squadron in Devon, where he learned to fly the Hawker Hurricane and Bristol Blenheim planes. By 1931 the squadron had become a specialised night fighting unit, and Brabham gained his first victory in August 1940. So that certainly does sound and look interesting. That's Scramble, and published by Green Hill Books. Then we have The Men Who Flew the Voigt F4U Corsair, and that's written by Martin W. Bowman and published by Pen and Sword Books. These are quite interesting usually because there's a few of these books. I've got one about the English Electric Lightning plane, and there was another one not long ago. It was specifically about a Second World War plane too, but I'm not sure which one. I'll have to try and re-trigger my memory for that one. But these books are quite interesting because not only do they look at like the basics of the plane, it looks at the men who flew the plane, what they got up to, the experiences of flying, and what they achieved. But they're really good all-round books. That's The Men Who Flew the Voigt F4U Corsair plane by Martin W. Bowman. Right, the next one is Britain's Coast at War. Invasion Threats, Coastal Forces, Bombardment and Training for D-Day. Written by Neil R. Story. And basically tells you the story that involving the coast around Britain and how that affected the war effort and how we were able to use the coast to our benefit. So there's lots of training information, all the Luftwaffe planes flying over the coast and all the training that went on, because the coast is quite important, especially when you look at, getting in all the shipping and the fishing, still having fishing fleets and supplies coming in on various convoys. But that's Britain's Coast at War. And then we have The True Story of the Christmas Truce. British and German eyewitness accounts from the First World War, with a foreword by Hugh Strachan, who's an eminent World War One historian, and that's written by Anthony Richards and then published by Greenhill Books. From the back it says, one of them shouted, "A Merry Christmas, English. We're not shooting tonight." Then they stuck up a light. Not to be outdone, so did we. Then up went another, so we shoved up another too. Soon the lines looked like an illuminated fate from Rifleman Leslie Walkington. And that basically tells you the story of the truce at Christmas during the First World War, and how both sides kind of became friends for one night over Christmas. And the next one is a different kind of book. This one is a guide to film and TV cosplay by Holly Swinyard, and that's published by White Owl Books too. I kind of find this intriguing and fascinating. I suppose it's a bit like those that do battle reenactments. You'll get the French and the British, and they'll play out a bit like in the US Civil War when they have reenactments between the Confederates and the Union, and they all dress up and they all like to make sure everything's authentic and correct to how it was then. And this is a bit like another step on, in this can involve like fantasy and things like Marvel and computer games and cartoons and that sort of thing, where people can dress up as their own favourite character, but they like everything to be authentic, and each outfit has to be real and be absolutely realistic in order for it to succeed. I just quite enjoy this and find it quite fascinating that people are happy to go around dressed as their favourite characters. But it's kind of a bit like done like out one of those annuals or Christmas annuals you used to get as kids. And there's plenty of. The good thing about these books is you can get lots of photos in. So it's basically about people doing a lot of dress up and reenactment. And the next one, almost the last one, is called, let me hold it up here, Agent Provocateur for Hitler or Churchill. The Mysterious Life of Stella Lonsdale. And that's written by David Tremaine. These ones are always quite interesting because you never actually hear about the person, or it's not widely publicised, and then suddenly you come across it and then it's quite intriguing. There have been many remarkable women who served British intelligence during the Second World War. One whose dubious claim to have worked for them is a fascinating tale involving 3 marriages. The first to a spurious white Russian prince, the second to a playboy turned criminal involved in a major jewellery robbery in the heart of London's Mayfair in the late 30s. And then after the war she became romantically involved with a well-known British fascist, but finally married another notorious criminal whom she met earlier during the war. The descriptions variously ascribed to her ranged from remarkable and quite ravishing to a woman whose loose living would make her an object of shame on any farmyard. So that's the story about Stella Lonsdale. Agent Provocateur for Hitler or Churchill. It's written by David Tremaine and it's published by Pen and Sword Books. And the last book, someone else will know about this book. This is Peg from the History Shelf. She will probably know this book because I've seen her with it before, or certainly one that was similar. It's The Battle of the Wilderness, May 5th to the 6th of 1864, written by Gordon C. Rea. And that is published by Louisiana State University Press. And flicking through it, it only turned up this morning, but flicking through it, it looks fascinating. From the back, winner of the Civil War Regiment's Book Award. The Chicago Tribune says, "Never before has there been such a finely detailed and objective rendering of this battle. Future accounts of the wilderness will stand on the shoulders of Rea's book." And then further down we've got from the Washington Times, through Rea's well-constructed profiles of the Union Corps commanders, we come to know the strengths and weaknesses of those who held the lives of thousands in their hands. And the London Times Literary Supplement says, "Conventional military history at its best." So another fascinating book, and I'm really looking forward to this one, mainly because I don't get to read that much US Civil War books, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Anyway, that's my book haul for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It really does help the channel, the more likes we can get. And if you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and I shall see you in the next video. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.